yeah, look at this homeboy. He even did a shirt change. We got the Tish on.
That's some sweaty arms.
Yeah. Got Niels on for back. Part three we're on, damn it. And he's got the Tish. The Tish. And what do you Dad, oh man, you're gonna get me going. Gonna get me going. What do you think of all these? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's different in Howland, but over here in the dude, these newbie absolute canoe ass fucking Tish fucking posers. What do you think, man? I'm talking 2015 to today, last 10 years roughly, where I'm telling you, dude, when I saw the Tish in 99, 2000, 2001, 30 people max. Lately,
Oh yeah.
they played in Cleveland the last 3 years and sold out each time. Now, granted, the club only holds 250 people, but still not the goddamn point. And I know goddamn fucking well, uh, 70 fucking percent of the people there don't even own a goddamn record vinyl. What's your take on that? Does that annoy the living piss out of you? Not cared? Were you unaware of it because it's not like that in Howland? What's your take on that?
I saw Mortician in I think it was 2002, Domain of Death tour,
Mm-hmm.
and in Holland in Eindhoven, and yeah, there were only a few people,
Well,
and yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, Mortician is yeah, that's the real deal,
I was
the
obsessed.
sound, yeah. The first time I heard it was Hector for Barbecue.
Same here. It's the first one I heard. My
Yeah,
brother plays.
in what
Dude,
was it,
Sea
1990?
Dog, Sea Dog from Hell's. This is when I would have been 12 or 13 because I saw them in 99 for the first time and I was 14. I was already owned all the albums. So it was definitely at least a year or two before that. He bought Hacked Up for Barbecue. And
Yeah,
we heard Cannibal, we heard Morbid Angel, Deicide. Well, when we heard that, it was like, whoa, like they ain't nothing heavier than this.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I heard Hector for Barbecue first, and then I went a bit back, to House by
I
the
was,
Cemetery, Mortal Massacre, stuff like that.
well,
And from then on, so I always liked it very much.
well,
I have almost all the Hell's releases,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
So you
finally,
liked and you liked every album by them?
yeah, I liked
Yes.
every album. Lately, I listened to a lot of Domain of Death, Darkest Day of Horror, the newer ones, because the Chainsaw Dismemberment, Hector for Barbecue, I know very well. Zombie Apocalypse, I listened to that stuff the most back in the day. Ah, man, if you all those fucking newbie kids, just fucking hang yourself, if you don't
Funny
like
because I just
Mortician.
listened. I just listened to Darkest Day of Horror again. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Fucking good.
Yeah, 1,000%. The opening song, Audra, is one of my favorite Tish songs in general, and
Really
it's fun.
good.
And funny, the last song on the album too, "The Final Sacrifice," it's also one of my favorites. The first song and the last song on the album are some of my just favorites, and I really like how Will's vocals shine through on that record. Because
Yeah.
the only problem is, as great as Chainsaw is, the only issue is his vocals are a little bit buried in the mix. And I know the first time I noticed that is when I was a teenager, and my first car I had, it didn't have air conditioning in the car, and I was
Yeah.
listening to Chainsaw Dismemberment, and the windows were down, and with the wind blowing, you couldn't hear Will's vocals. They were that. And that's when I first really put together. I was like, his vocals are really buried in the mix. But
Yeah.
Darkest Day, they're really up front and you can
Yeah.
and distinguishable. Well, as distinguishable as you can be for the fucking Big Willie, but you know what I mean?
I think his vocals are, they're also very low, and the production is very low. Everything is like, like a
Yeah,
fucking bulldozer comes in.
yeah,
But I think his voice on Reanimated Dead Flesh is different.
yeah. A
He
little bit.
sings a
Yeah,
bit different.
it's almost like it almost has like a little bit of a guttural tone, for a lack of better
Yeah,
word.
exactly.
Mhm.
It's a bit,
Yeah,
but I like all the records, man. It's
same.
so
Oh,
fucking good band.
yeah.
That's
Now,
how it should sound.
did you ever get to meet Will or Roger or any of them?
I met Will in 2002. I had some contact with him through email because I can remember that. I don't know if I'm talking bullshit now, but I think he was interested in releasing the Unbound Madness album back in the day.
Well,
But we already had a label.
I can tell you this: there's no doubt in my mind.
I
Oh,
think he has the
that Will
demo.
liked it. There's that Will definitely likes that shit. I mean,
That is that disfigured demo. I think Will or Roger has it, the
okay,
original one.
yeah,
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 that only one was made. I
yeah. I
don't
guess
own it.
yeah. It's for the audience. Niels and I were talking. Obviously, the first thing we'll do is the prostitute disfigurement and ball madness. I guess we should probably talk about that too. Talk about something productive while we're at it. Do that on vinyl and do that first. And Niels, and I never heard it. He sent me I think it's just a YouTube link. He's like, if you guys want, you could do the demo. It was just the band was just called Disfigure. Really nasty cover art too. I was like, I didn't even know about it. And he's like, yeah, it's before we were called Prostitutes Disfigurement. Um, Tell them the story. You help change the name, everything. Tell why am I doing the talking? I'm just some fucking jackass here in Ohio. You're the goddamn
And
talent.
the thing was, I think it was around 97, 98, 99. I was singing in a black death kind of band, and I was singing, like MB9, Hi,
What was that band called?
the kind of at the gates kind of vocals and dissection kind of vocals.
Did that band have a name though?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was called Die Abhorrence.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but it was really back in the day, and
Yeah.
we didn't even
Yeah,
know
no,
that there was
no,
another Abhorrence.
no
Um,
metal archives or anything.
exactly. It was in 97, 96, 98, I think so. But then I found it out while I was rehearsing that I could change my vocals to that low, that guttural, that really deep. I said, holy shit! So I was starting experimenting with that a bit during those rehearsals. And then I was one night I was out. I was at the old Dynamo Club, the Hard Rock Cafe, and there was a friend of mine. He played guitar, and I said, "Dude, listen, we have to make a sick fucking demo. Just I don't know what, but we have to make something brutal." The thing was with Prostitute Disfigurement, with Disfigure was to only make one demo, and then that's it. But and song titles like fucking Rotting Away is better than being gay, only horrible titles like that. That was the whole idea. We were also writing on a song that was called Burning Pile of Mongoloids. But it never made. Maybe I'll start again with that. But and Chinese people, we were fucking with that, and lesbians and everything. A bit of Seth Putnam style.
Yeah.
But the thing was, it was only me, and that guy's name was also Niels. He played guitar, and I was only the singer. And we had a drum machine, but we didn't know how the fuck that thing works. So Patrick from that deaf black trash band, whatever, he said, I can do the programming for you, and I can play some bass if you want. Okay, and let's fucking do it. So we were starting out making every evening a song. We had a demo finished in a few evenings. We started in October, and the demo was out in January. So, and then we had that demo, and what the fuck. And then a few weeks before, the trash band of that death black metal band, Die Abhorrence, whatever it's called, we stopped with that. And then the guitar player Rule from that band joined Disfigure as well. 1 week before we entered the studio to record the demo. So we learned the 5 songs, and we recorded that in a weekend. It's pretty much live shit. You just put on the drum machine, play the guitar. The vocals were just like I was holding the mic like this, and I was finished in half an hour. Just as all one take shit. Sometimes I did some pitch shift of vocals for fun, and that was it. But then we got an offer. The demo was released. We made it on CDR, and then we got an offer to play live. Play live, holy fuck! We only have a drum machine, so we did that with drum machine. And then we did again a gig. I think it was with Inhume as well, and Mangled or something. And then a guy came to us from, hey man, I own a little record label. I want to sign you guys. It was 2001. Yeah, let's fucking do it. There was a Saturday and Monday we signed the contract. And that was Unbound Madness. I think Unbound Madness was recorded in May 2001. Also very fast the weekend. A lot of one take stuff, vocals finished in an hour, and everything shit like that. And it was released in October 2001.
It's so funny. When you say that, it reminds me of, granted, I'm taking snippets of what I heard. I remember hearing, so I could be wrong in this. I'm sure diehard Black Sabbath fans, you can correct me. But I thought from what I heard, like songs like by Black Sabbath, the song Paranoid was to my knowledge, from what I thought I heard, it was written up and written up and recorded in a few minutes because the label said they need another song for the record.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that also.
So they kind of pulled something out of their ass, like, all right, whatever, whip something together. And that's one of their most popular songs ever. What I'm getting at is, and in Ball of Madness, you recorded that fast. And I've noticed that trend where a lot of guys tell me stuff. I was like, the stuff where it's like, these bands, they're their worst fucking enemies. You're overthinking this shit.
Yeah.
So the stuff that just comes from the heart and just bang, 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 bang. I think the Misfits did a lot of that too, is the best shit ever. Because it's so authentic and it's off the cuff that I could be wrong because I'm not in the writing process, but I just feel like a lot of bands when they spend so much time and overthinking, it's just
Yeah,
all the charisma is just scrubbed out. It's just very robotic almost.
yeah. And back in the day, it was like we just met every week at Rules Place. You know, we had just drum machine on our lap, you know, the old school shit like that. And I was literally making riffs, guitar riffs with my mouth. You know, like that, and he just played it.
Yeah.
A lot of riffs was made like that with beatboxing, you know.
Oh, dude, you want to know something funny that behind the scenes? That's how when Jim Sadis was alive in
Yeah,
Nunslaughter,
yeah,
he was the drummer. He's one of pretty much my best friend at the time. He died, but when he was in the band, he came up with a lot of riffs, and that's what because my brother Craig was in Nunslaughter for. He's our younger brother. He's the one. He's the youngest out of me, Eric, and Chase. So that's why he didn't own Hell's Headbangers because we started Hell's Headbangers. I was just 16, and I'm the youngest out of the three. Craig would have only been 14. So the three of us started it, but Craig did his own band, Crucified Mortals. And then Jim and Don heard that and they liked Crucified Mortals. And so they asked Craig to join Munslaw to play bass. And Craig did bass and guitar on the album Hex, their third album, and some of the 7 inches. And he said the same thing. The way it come up with, Jim would literally hum the riffs, just his ideas, and Craig like this. No, change it. And he
yeah,
just
yeah,
he's like that's how the writing process like that's what it was. It was so amateur. Like Jim would just come up with shit. He's like, I want it like this, and you just hum it, and Craig would have to figure it out.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's funny
Yeah,
you say that because that's I don't know
yeah,
how many other band like does Glenn Benton write like that? I mean, I doubt it, but I don't know.
yeah. I think Glenn plays bass, so he can make his riffs on the
Yeah,
bass, you know, probably.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's. But yeah, that's how it went, and I think we did. I can't remember how many shows we did with drum machine. I think a handful, maybe around 10, maybe or maybe
Now when you
less.
did them, because how long did you keep the name just Disfigure going before you
Now
changed
the
it?
thing was, what I can remember, because normally the prostitute disfigurement songs are about serial killers, and then normally I make it a bit more worse. So I pick a killer back in the day, and then I will make a little bit of my own story in it. A prostitute disfigurement. I wrote a song that was called Prostitute Disfigurement. And I told you before, because it was back in the day, there was a band called Disfigured. I think it was with a guy from Broken Hope in it or something. And so I
I
had
know
to
there's a
say,
band.
the band, we
I
have
know
to change the name.
I know there's a band called Disfigure or Disfigure. There was that one band with what Blistering Mouth or something.
Yeah.
There was bands
So
but I never like fall. I know I listened to at least one of them or something, I just whatever forgot it, didn't care.
yeah,
But I know of what you're talking about. Yes.
yeah. So we had something like we had to change the name into something different. And I was just writing a song about Peter Sutcliffe, the whore killer from England. And I named it Prostitute Disfigurement. Pretty simple. The title of the song. This thing is song 10 on the album. And I asked them like, hey man, let's just pick that as a band name. And everybody was fucking laughing. Yeah, let's fucking do it. You know, that's it.
Well, which serial killer then is it about? Rotting away is better than being gay.
Oh, that's no serial killer. That's just me. That's just me. Yeah,
Now, one thing I want to ask about that. Then, did you guys ever catch any flack? And especially because you guys were pre-cancel culture, but for people that don't know, so you have that song title, you have a Gay Bar Massacre, and then what? Dismember the Transgender.
yeah.
Now, did you guys? Again, this is pre this wimpy ass, pansy ass, anti freedom of speech cancel culture.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch any flack? And I'm surprised that you guys they haven't kind of gone back to you to say like you can't sell this band, like you're on that band list. It seemed like you guys kind of slid under the radar. And if that's the case, unless you have, and I'm just unaware of it,
Uh,
how do you think you slid under that radar? Unlike some bands, for example, the Evil Incarnate has we put the 7 inch out. It's the split with Blaspherium. They have the song "Killer of Fags." That's the name of the song. That's one song. That's their song. They're banned, basically banned for that in a sense. Like they can't play certain clubs.
is that all?
What's that?
Is that all? I mean,
That's
what's
seven.
the
Oh yeah,
problem?
we put that out. Shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
We put that out. I don't know,
why is that a
07 or 8.
problem?
No, but I'm just saying they're still banned to this day. But I'm saying your guys' stuff is old too. Like be pre-cancel culture. But you guys aren't like, for example, if I wanted and you were able to, and like I'm Dead by Dog 2, which that'd be awesome if Prostitute Disfigurement was able to play, but it sounds like you're probably not interested and you got arthritis and shit like that. But let's just say you are and you're in. I don't think anybody like they're banned. They can't do it. But I can tell you right now, the club I'm having it. If I try to have Evil Incarnate, I can guarantee the guys like I can't have it because it's my business and I have a pizza shop there. And that's not going to fly. But saying about the same shit, my question is did you guys slide under that radar? And if so, how the fuck did that happen?
No, we had a lot. We had some problems with that back in the day. There were several venues in Holland that did not book us because of those songs. Gay Bar
So you did
Massacre.
okay. So you
Razor
did
Had
get
a
that.
Mean Gay. Yeah. Literally, the owner asked me when I was pissing next to him. The guy was a gay, of a homosexual, with his fucking leather cap on, pissing. And he said to me like, "Do you believe in your lyrics?" I said yes, and we got banned. So yeah, I say, do you truly believe in what I write? I said, of course. For me, it's just fucking horror. Just
Yeah.
That's what death metal is about for me. Nowadays in the whole death metal scene, and there's no violence, there's no aggression, there's no balls, there's no sack. What you always say. It's also fucking. Look at my haircut. How is my haircut today? Look what kind of shirt I'm wearing. Who gives a fuck? If
Yeah.
you dress before you go on stage, you're a fucking poser.
You should already
Simple
be
as that.
dressed. You should already be dressed like that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you dress like, a lot of black metal bands do, all those outfits and And don't get me wrong, I like a lot of black metal
I
bands.
call that
I listen
what
to
I
more
call
black
that.
metal than death
Yeah,
metal.
what I call that is like the Niflheims and shit like that. I call that going above and beyond, and I think that's cool for show. But in my opinion, yeah, you should already look metal, even if you're not on stage. In my opinion, definitely on stage. Like
Exactly.
why did you need to change into a mortician shirt? Why weren't you just automatically? Because to me, I wear that when I'm going to the grocery store. That's just what's on. That's just what I own. And to my
Yeah,
opinion, that's just what if you're into this, that's what you're into.
exactly. And but yeah, what was I discussing now? I
Well, it's
can't
funny,
remember.
like you're saying, these bands are, dude, like for example, dude, terrible bands, and I mean terrible bands,
Oh yeah, now
like
it's
like like
coming.
like Bore Incantation, Blood Incantation, like they're
Oh, horrible band. Oh,
horrible, dude.
listen.
Do you see those hippie ass fucking nerds?
No, but the last record.
Didn't even
A guy,
listen to it. I didn't need
it's the
to.
last blood incantation. You know what I have with the last record? What do you want? Do you want to sound like Morbid Angel, like Pink Floyd, or Klaus Schulze? Why do you? I cannot understand why you mix that shit. It's horrible.
Well, not only that, but just the whole concept, that the hippie approach, the no toughness to the lyrical themes, everything. Like for example, like again, just since I'm talking to you, a band like Prostitute Disfigurement put on like a Ball Madness, some of those song titles and shit like that, and just everything. It's like that to me is just more of an emotional response, the way death metal is supposed to be,
Yeah,
offend and get into reaction. Blood Incantation, even if you kind of like the riffs, there's just nothing there. It's just generic fucking bullshit that doesn't represent death metal, in my opinion. It just
exactly.
doesn't.
No. If you look at a guy, with his fucking bald head with some hair and a fucking mustache, Jesus Christ, I shit my pants.
It's just hipster death metal. It's literally just hippie fucking hipster nerd goddamn
Yeah,
fucking Screech Powers goddamn fucking Steve Urkel death metal.
I know. I tried to listen to some years ago. They had, I think, what's called Star Spawn, the first record, or the.
Mm-hmm. That's
It was
probably the one I heard. I heard either the first or second release, and and when I first heard it, I didn't hate it. I was like, oh, it's fine. But the reason
yeah,
I bring them up and I rip on it is because that's like one of the popular bands of today. That's like what kids listen to when they say they like death metal.
yeah,
And I'm like, dude, and then the really, really good shit, I was like, they don't even know what it is. And I know because I bring it up on the channel. They don't, I'm like, you don't even know like the good shit. With the exception of, I mean, Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel, I don't count. Of course you know that. Who the fuck
yeah,
doesn't know that? But I'm just
yeah,
saying, like more underground stuff that's really good. That's so much a million times better than these dumbass bands that are popular. It's one thing if they just existed and it was just like they were there wasn't hype or anything over. You're like, all right, whatever, just another band for the pack. But there's actual hype. Like that's who's like the big four of today. I'm like, and it blows my fucking mind.
yeah. They have a lot of followers on Spotify. And holy fuck,
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah.
I listen to the last record just because then I also know that the record is shit because I always listen to it,
Yeah.
and then I know that I don't like it. Otherwise, I don't know what I talk about. But it goes from a great, pretty cool riff, good riff into blast it into a fucking Pink Floyd la 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 stuff. Holy shit, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Oh man, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
That's not fucking no. That's not death metal in my book, man.
Not mine
Fucking hell,
either.
give me some fucking bush to the birth, It's a
Yeah.
fucking meat sodomy. That makes me
Yeah.
happy. Oh fucking Legion, no fucking Deicide, Fuck man.
What is it? You asked that we talked one of our first messages. I forget what your answer was. I think you said the cell title. So I guess a two-part question. What's the best Deicide record, and what's the last Deicide record you like, or what's ones you don't like, or whatever?
I think Deicide is the best death metal record.
I'm pretty okay. That's what I thought you remember. Okay, and then what's do you have a cutoff for them? Is
The cutoff is yes, After Serpents.
oh, so you didn't like Scars and all? You didn't like Scars of the Crucifixion?
Oh, okay, Scars has had some good songs. What's called "When Heaven Burns." Scars
Okay.
is, by the way, it's a pretty crazy record, especially
Yeah,
with Glenn's double voice.
100%.
It's fucking madness, yeah. But I really go back to the first four. Then that's for
Okay.
me. That's what I daily listen.
Yeah.
Deicide, that's what I daily listen. That's the best band for me, man.
So did you listen to their last album that came out last year? Did you even listen to it?
I listen to it, but it's too. It's for me. It's too modern.
Okay.
Too. It's still death metal. You can hear it's Deicide. You can hear it's Glenn, but it's too. I don't know. It's not my thing.
Okay. Because yeah, I liked it a lot. That I actually the first four I agree are the best, but the funny
Yeah,
thing is
yeah.
like the next record I like in line was the newest record. I was like, I think this is the best album since Servers of Light. Like I
Okay.
loved it.
And what do you think about In the Minds of Evil? I think that has some pretty good songs.
No, I like every single Deicide album. Uh Till Death Do Us Part, I think is their worst album. But I
Yes.
still like going back and getting to know the songs. The funny thing is what part you got to get past that first instrumental song. It's an instrumental opening.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's boring as fuck.
I know, yeah.
That I would have just completely cut that. But when you get
Yeah.
into the songs, I mean, there's some catchy fucking rhymes and fucking hooks for sure. But as a whole, it's their goddamn worst album. But I still like it. In the Minds of Evil, the title track's fucking great. God Kills great. Trample the Cross is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome album. Yeah.
Yeah, that record is pretty good. And I like Glenn's voice on that record. You can hear his lyrics again.
Yeah.
That's the only
100%.
thing. Deicide now, if you see them live, the band is really good. I think Glenn's voice is a bit too monotonous, a bit too.
You know what's funny is
Too bad.
well, I'm not gonna say who said it because I don't think he wants to swear, but yeah, that was he's complaining live. He's like, yeah, Glenn, he's kind of half-assing his vocals live. And what I noticed, because I've seen in the last few years, probably 2019 to today, that I've seen Deicide, it seems like it kind of depends what mood Glenn's in. Because when I
Okay.
saw Deicide in 2019 on the Overtures of Blasphemy tour, which that's the second to last album, which I like that record a lot too. Um, yeah, you could tell he kind of just phoned it in, grunting them out. But after that's where I was really impressed with his vocal performance. I went and I saw them in Columbus, which is like a 2 hour drive. And then I saw them on the Cleveland, 2 dates for that tour, is when they did the Legion tour, when they played the entire Legion album. I was thoroughly impressed with his vocal performance. He was doing all the highs and the pause, like, whoa, like he's actually like making an effort.
Yeah.
And this last time they played for the new album tour, I thought he also, it wasn't quite as good as the Legion tour, but good. Like he wasn't just doing like a bunch of lows and like throw it like a bunch of, let's say, muffled lows and throwing an occasional high. I was like, it was good. I was like, it was a good performance again. But the Legion, which was just the year before, I was like, this is the best I've ever seen him do his vocals live. And since
Okay.
they're in similar time frames, I was like, I think it just goes by what kind of mood he's in.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
really think so.
Sometimes I check some, some YouTube videos, from 2023 or 2024, So, but yeah. But I must say, they pulled it off with playing Legion live.
I loved it. I was
It's
there, man.
really
I
good.
loved it.
Also, Steve's drumming, it's still fucking good, man.
Dude, it's
So
funny
good.
because I think Steve does not get the recognition that he deserves
No way.
because
No way.
yeah, because everybody talks about all the other drummers, especially Pete the Feet, which understandable, I get it, but I don't. I think Steve should be in there. And not only that, dude, I was I met Steve for the first time. That was the first time I met Glenn too, but it was brief. Just had my stuff signed and shit like that. Was in 2001 on the Incinerate Them tour.
Yeah.
And I could tell that Steve was the more personable one. Glenn was very grumpy. And my Glenn Benton fucking meet him the first time story. Do you know that? Did you see that video? I showed it on. It's an old video.
I don't know.
Okay, so
I have to look back. I have to look
I'll
back. Oh, I
I'll
can
retell
look
because
at
a
it
lot of
later.
people haven't. Yeah, a lot of people haven't. I don't even remember what it was. It's probably in the first 6 months I did the video. Um, so it was Deicide and Marduk opened up for them. Marduk was on the Le Grande Danse Macabre album. Fantastic album. That's where I met Legion and Frederick. Dude, Legion was so fucking cool. Got my picture with them, had him sign all my stuff. I was surprised how cool he was. I thought he was gonna be one of those cabal tough guy black metal guys. Not at all. He was like very, very talkative, very cool. Uh Good experience there. Frederick, the drummer, guy was like 7 fucking feet tall and but quiet.
Yeah.
B War and Morgan, I remember them just get the stuff signed, not didn't say much. But at the end of the show, it was over. Met the Hoffman brothers and Steve and Glenn, and it was outside after the show. It was right outside the bus, and there was kind of like a bunch of people, going up to Glenn. And I had all my two brothers. We had all the Deicide albums up to date, so the first 5 albums plus the live album to have Glenn and all the guys sign, right? And we also brought Cannibal Corpse Butchered at Birth, or at least I definitely did, because he does backing vocals on Vomit the Soul. He
Yeah.
does the line, Blessed by the Devil, under inverted crosses. And for whatever reason, first off, he was saying that you could tell he was in a really bad mood. Sitting there, signs like, I'm not going to see this shit up on eBay, am I? I'm like, no. And they sit there telling people, hey, go on. He's like, and then I put put up Butchered at Birth to have him sign it. So these guys are shit talking fags. And he writes across the top, fags. So on my Butchered at Birth seat to this day, in silver ink, just says fags across it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. Well, you know what's funny is, so I would have been, that was in 01, so I would have been 16. A lot of people, like fans, most fans have been like, fuck that guy, man. Fuck that band. I'm never listening to it. Guy was a fucking dick. Dude, I walked away. I was like, that was fucking awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, he's so fucking hateful and angry. I was like, it fits because Deicide was always the band. I always said it's actually hateful. I was like, you could
Yeah.
tell Glenn
Exactly.
hates Christianity. He's got the inverted cross. So I loved it. I was like, he's the fucking real deal. I was like, his own fan, because somebody writes fags on his shit. I was like, it don't get any cooler than that.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's always was like my mindset. So when people get offended by stuff I say, I'm like, dude, you're just a fucking pansy ass fucking wimp. I was like, just don't even comment. Please just unsubscribe and don't even follow me. I don't even want you associated with me because you're so fucking weak and wimpy. Definitely wearing a fucking pink thong and painting your nails and going out and buying a bra and purse. I don't want you following me. You have no similar mindset whatsoever when they get offended and say shit in the comments. I was like, please fucking get offended. Unsubscribe and never
Yeah.
watch me again, homie.
I mean, yeah, I had always the same with Process Figment. If I hurt your feelings with my lyrics, I'm doing a good job.
You're successful. Successful. That's the way
Exactly.
it should be. It's the way it
Exactly.
fucking
And
should be.
yeah. So yeah, that's it's always blows my mind, those fucking posters, man. But that's also a big reason why I on stage always when we played Holland shows with prostitutes, always those guys that were always in the audience like this, and just looking and just say fucking nothing. I will immediately say to the band when we had like a 45-minute set list, yo, let's skip 3 songs and let's get the fuck out of here. Also, the good thing is when you had a shitty audience before you start a song, the drummer always like tick, 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 and then go. You take a half a liter of a beer and then tick, 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 and the first guy in the audience throw the whole beer over the audience. Everybody's immediately pissed off. That's fucking good. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And always spit at people. Fuck you, asshole. And then to try to, but nothing is happening. In Germany, the people always go fucking crazy. You get bigger mosh pits, But
they like it.
First band to play in Holland, it's always shit. Always shit. We never played in Holland the last years.
So are you telling me if I was the obviously it was a kind of half-assed sarcastic, but I'm sure he was semi-serious too. Which blows my mind. You didn't go to Seth's fucking birthday barbecue. You didn't show up to. He's like, yeah, man, you should come on out. I'm like, It's like, I would, dude. I was like, well, you're not
I said it
exactly
to
down.
you.
I was like, you're not down. Yeah, to me. I was like, you're not exactly down the street. So my question is, if I actually took him up on something like that and I came to Holland and let's say I would plan for her to go around a show or something like that, a fest, would I be severely disappointed by the crowd and the show? And
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
yeah,
you would. Yeah. But if you would come to Holland to a show, I would come to the show to meet you. That's for
yeah.
sure. But you should come to Holland. Well, you have to visit.
No, I
I
want
mean,
to. I
all
try
the
to.
guys, you live close to each other. You can interview fucking everybody, you know?
You know what's funny is because I said it to Seth. I don't. It might not have been on interview. It might have been us. We
Yeah.
talked on the phone. I called him a couple weeks after the interview. We talked on the phone for a little bit. Is he just said that randomly. I'm like, you know what, dude? I was like, because I always thought about going to Denmark. And I was like, I would not be against it. I was like, I gotta update my passport and shit, but I gotta convince my goddamn wife. She's like, oh, I don't want to stay with a stranger and shit like that. She's being fucking weird. But I told Seth, I was like, I would totally go up, but I would plan for it when there's like an event, like let's say a fest or something. That way I could kill two birds with one stone. Get to meet guys like you, Rob, Seth, hang out, do interviews, make it
Yeah,
productive.
yeah.
But I would
We all live
100% be
very
into it.
close to each other, you know? If I fucking fart here, yeah, if I let a fart, Seth can smell it almost. You know what I mean? But I never see him. The last time I saw him is fucking 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my fault, of course, because I always stay at home.
Well, what like
But
okay, like but I mean that's kind of weird then, man. Like if you haven't seen him in 6 years, and he invited you out to his birthday, and it's on a Saturday. I'm kind of surprised you wouldn't at least stopped in, just out of respect.
I know, but sometimes I wake up in the morning and I start going, fuck everybody. And then I just don't go.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
feel now, but normally it has also to do with my health,
Yeah,
you know? So that's probably the thing is with Rob. If I text Rob now, I say, hey, dude, Monday we grab a coffee. Okay, I see you Monday, you know?
okay. When
And
was
that's
the last
probably
time?
the same with Seth, you know? So if I just text them and I can easily meet up with those guys, easily. And
Now,
I will do that soon, you know?
with Rob, then when was the last time you saw Rob in person?
Last time I saw Rob was on my birthday, December.
Okay, oh, so not okay, not as
And
long ago.
but Rob is also very busy. I have the same profession as Rob. I'm also a painter. I'm also very busy. I work together with my brother a lot, so or every day. So he always works alone. And Rob is a guy who goes everywhere. He likes to go to museums and stuff like that. So I think he's also pretty busy. But
Now, when you guys say
I hope he picks up the guitar.
when you say you and Rob are painters, you talking about like you're painting houses or you're painting
Yeah,
art? Like what painting
no
houses?
painting houses.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's our job. Yeah. So we all work for ourselves. I'm my own boss.
And so and Rob owns his own company too, right?
Yeah, and he always works alone. So it's a lot of work, you know.
Yeah,
And I always work with my brother every day, and with a friend. Normally the two of us always discussing music with my brother
yeah,
because he's the one that I start listening to this music.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
the hardcore, the Cryptic Slaughter stuff and everything, you know, and all
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
hardcore punk style. And then I slowly went on to listening to death metal, black metal. I also listen to a lot of black metal,
yeah.
but the good stuff, you know, no wimp shit. Yeah, man, fuck.
So you don't.
Yesterday I was listening
So you
to.
definitely disagree. You're definitely making fun of me on your phone, looking at it when I talk about Cradle of Filth and Debut Border.
I like the first Cradle of Filth.
Oh, so you do like at least something? Okay.
Yeah. I can remember when it came out back in the day because before that it was more death metal, the
Yeah.
demos.
Yeah. Did you like? You had to like the demos, right? Those demos are
Yeah,
brutal as
yeah,
fuck.
demos, and then I heard a sort of an advanced tape of Principle of Evil Made Flesh.
Yeah.
The Black Goddess Rises, that song, and another
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh shit, this is different. This was really." And then the album came out. Oh, that's good. But then when Vampire came out, I said, like, okay, it was already very polished, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I can listen to the first 3-4 records of Cradle, and after that, it's horrible.
Okay, so you're not the
No,
crowd. Yeah. So you're not in the camp that you thought they were a complete shit band from day one. Because some people like I
no,
was just
no,
like,
no.
dude, I was like, dude, you're asinine if you think like they literally bring them. Dude, there's literally people. I'm not like I mean verbatim. They're saying that is the equivalent of liking Slipknot. I'm like, dude, you are a poser
No.
fucking dude. I was like, you're an idiot if you think that. I was
If you
like, just
listen to
not even
Slipknot,
that's not the same thing at all.
no. If you listen to Slipknot, you're a complete turd. What the fuck? I
100%.
mean, I can remember when because it was that beginning of the 90s when Cradle had their album out. That was very original.
1,000%.
In
That's what I say,
94.
dude. People, all the guys that rip on me because of the Vlad Tepes mutilation, I'm like, dude, even if
Ah,
you like,
fuck that shit.
I was like, not only that, but I was like, even if that's what you like, I was like, you can't deny, dude, when Principle of Evil, even vampire shit, look, even the Cruelty and the Beast and stuff that you don't like, you have to admit, for a subgenre, let's just say it's another subgenre of black metal, it was different than everybody. It
Yeah,
sounded like
that's
nobody
true.
else.
Yeah. It's true.
As opposed to a lot of bands, even if you do like all those dark throne worship bands, I was like, I'm sorry, that shit sounds the same.
Yeah.
They sound the same. I was like, they're all just repetitive shit, even if you like
Yeah.
it.
That's
So I was
true.
like, I just the mentality. I'm like, dude, you're allowed to like what you like, and I don't care what another grown man likes. I was like, but just stop talking. You look fucking dumb.
Yeah. I think that album is very good. Yeah.
No. Who came
But
up with the
yeah,
idea? So that I was going to ask earlier on, since because we're doing the LP version of the Embalm Madness. By the way, that the Embalm Madness, the repress, obviously I kept one, but you only sent like 5 or 6. Those are already sold out. They sold out overnight
yeah,
when you put on the
that's the
site.
only shit I have, man. The rest is
Yeah,
gone
but
for
so
several years.
we're for the people watching, we're repressing it with the original cover, and Niels doesn't have the goddamn lyrics, which kind of sucks. But we'll include everything
Shall I
that we
tell you
can.
the story with the lyrics? I wrote it down on small papers like this. So I went to the studio with a few papers in my fucking pocket. Where they are, I don't fucking know.
But if you were to listen to the album, you were to sit there and listen to it, you wouldn't be able to pick up most of the words.
Yeah, a lot of it. I think about 75%.
Okay, so you're not a go getter like Ollie Jones from Desecration, huh? Because you know what Ollie did
No,
when Ollie
we played with
Jones,
Desecration.
Desecration from Wales.
Yeah, I know them, Ollie. Of course, we played with them.
Yeah,
Normally, every year we went to the UK to do some shows, with Prostitute's Figment.
they're on my
And
bucket list, man. So that's a band, for example. To be honest, if I do Dead by Dog 2, because Ali said he'd be into it, that might be my overseas band.
yeah,
Centurion is my number one pick, but I know Rob's gonna dick me, so I already know that's not gonna happen. But Centurion would be my number one pick. But when I asked Ali, he's like, "Yeah, I'd be totally into that." Like he wouldn't even have to eat any bad eyeballs. Like, oh shit, because I'd never seen Desecration, and I like
yeah,
everything by them. And their
yeah.
second album, Murder of Mine, I'm a huge fan of. We put out their vinyl in 2004, I think it was. The
Okay,
lyrics were never printed in the CD, and he didn't have them. So on his break, he was a mortician, and on his break, he would listen to the album and write the words down, and that's how he got those. And he said when he was done, he's like, there's a few parts I couldn't figure out. He's like, but it's like 90-95%, and I followed it. I'm like, oh, it's almost all there. So the lyrics are only in our vinyl version, only
okay.
300 made, and he had to sit down. Same thing. He's like, yeah, I got to figure them out, and he did it. I was like, oh shit, motherfucker pulled, and he did it like in a month. I was like, God damn, that's a go getter.
I can try, but
I mean,
I
those
can
would be
try to.
harder. I'll
I
give you
know,
that. That'd
I
be
know from
harder to
Rotten
figure out.
Ways, like
Yeah.
there are some parts when the song starts with this gay in DK, gay in DK, and a lot of things I know, but I think 75% I can remember, but I don't. It will not be completed, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's a pity.
but nonetheless, yeah, it'll be the original cover arts, and I'm
That's
definitely looking forward.
important.
And
Yeah,
dude, well, there's not wants, we will. Otherwise, I will drive to Easy E and Dog's house, knock on their door, and punch them in the fucking face.
I will join you.
Yes, what we'll do is the first 100 copies with the same outer cover will be on a 12-inch picture disc.
Right, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that original cover, but actually, dude, god damn, we're already fuck this Zoom. Time flies. We're down to under a minute. I was going to ask you about the cover and shit
Holy
like that,
fuck.
and okay, do you want me to send you another link, or
Yeah, do it.
you just fuck, man? You're giving Seth a run for his number.
Yeah,
Seth a
set
run
the
for
5 pass, eh?
he did 5, yeah.
Yeah, we will do 6. Okay.
All
Fuck
right,
you, Seth, asshole.
yeah, fuck you, Seth. Watch out for
Fuck you,
fucking.
Seth,
We're
man.
on,
Fuck.
is this the second one? We're on 2, or is this 3?
This is 3. Now
All right,
now we do 4.
yeah. Watch out for part 4. God damn it! Later.
See you later, faggots.